All right, guys, we got an awesome question here inspired by Jeremy, and I thought maybe we'd use him as a little guinea pig. Thanks, Jeremy. For those of you guys who are running Facebook ads, like there's nothing worse than you turn on the ad machine, you're expecting to get a bunch of agency clients, and then when you actually hit go in the real world, it's not working the way you expected, and you don't know, do you need to spend more money? When do you pull the plug? When do you change it? What do you even look at to fix that when it's working? So I hope to make this video as a diagnostic tool for you guys to simplify Facebook ads. I'll tell you, actually, believe it or not, I've written some like Facebook ads that have made me hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I always wrote them on a piece of paper like this, not grinding it out in front of the ad manager, just by focusing on like the four things that I think are the most important part of Facebook ads. So he posts here, and this may be something you guys see. He's getting a lot of clicks. He spent about $46. He's had some impressions, and nobody's signing up for the thing. So it's like, is it working? Is it not working? Where do we even look in this scenario? Read you a little bit of my thoughts on this here, so you guys just know where to like kind of triage your own Facebook ads. But I mentioned that I consider a true test 50 to $100. So like for me, what I'm looking for is almost always when I create ads these days, I do what's called a hand raiser, and I'm just doing a summary of the offer. And I'm putting a summary of the offer out there to see if somebody would even be interested at all. Because before I make funnels and landing pages and all that, like if nobody's interested in buying the thing at the end, it's a lot of work. So I look to spend $50 to $100 to find the answer to that question out. And so usually what I'm looking for, just so you guys know, is like most of the math in an agency works extremely well. For the most part, most people don't realize if you got a $2,000 a month service, you could spend $2,000 to go get one single client easily. And as long as you're breaking even month one and, profits months two, as your team sort of gets bigger, those numbers get a little longer in time. But nonetheless, you're making your money on the back end and you're breaking even on the front end. You can acquire clients infinitely, right? Because if you spend 2,000, you make 2,000 back. Now you can put that 2,000 back into the ad machine. You get 2,000 back, and on the back end, month two, month three, month four, that's when you get to reap all those client benefits. So I'll tell you, $5 to $10 leads are what I usually shoot for, and in that process, I'm also looking for like, well, firstly, like some interest in the offer and people saying like, and then mathematically I'm looking for usually like calls, $250. For most of you guys, we do them salesless, so I look for sales inquiry. So if I spend $250 and someone inquires about our services or fills out a form or however you have your technical setup, but somebody says I'm interested, um most of you guys, like even if you do it badly, you're going to close 1 in 10 of those people, right? So um for the most part, like that's what you're looking for in Facebook. And when it's not working, like almost always I find it's 4 places. Like I know you've heard all this stuff that Facebook has, like, oh, you should only enter winners by this. And I followed a lot of that advice for a lot of years until I came across a guy named Brad's ads. And was just like, I just run one ad, my very best ad, put my best foot forward, try it. If it works, I scale the fuck out of it. If it doesn't, I don't. But I don't have to spend like all this time managing 5,000 ads. So I look for like, there's only 4 things that can go wrong. You're not targeting the right people. You are not offering them something that's an easy yes. Your image is like not conducive to the action you want to take. And your messaging, how you dress this up with words. So Jeremy was kind enough to post his ad, and I want to pick on him a little bit just because this is something that like my audience in general are super smart motherfuckers, and you can tell Jeremy is a super smart motherfucker. And super smart motherfuckers have a way to make messaging wordy as fuck. So I used to see this how it'd show up in the lawyer space is they'd say Frankie Finn and Associates is a plaintiff personal injury with over 35 years experience, as the top legal service giving, known for high quality results, expert service, superior legal counsel, and blah, blah, blah. And by the time you read it, you're like, you have no idea what the fuck they just said to you. And the guys who like really crush it have stupid, simple messaging. And it would be like, in a wreck, get a check. In a wreck, get a check. Right. So it sounds cheesy, but you want to be able to say it in like 6 words in a way where people go, aha. And so a lot of time it's the effort. I'm going to show you guys how to do this because this is something deeper, a deeper idea we kind of hit on called symptomatic marketing. And Jeremy's got examples of it in his work, and I want to show you guys where it is and how to find it. And what you'll find is you actually write better messaging because it's just short and punchy and they get it. So I'll tell you where this is actually going off the rails is like if you miss on a symptom, which you just did here, like basically like people don't really know you're talking to them. They might be mildly curious, but they're not like ready to take any sort of action. So it says, are you tired of wasting thousands of dollars and time attending hunting shows to promote your whitetail hunting deer outfit and not receiving an ROI for the effort? Like it's too long of a sentence. You lost them on like some of those details. And and then it says hunting shows are a big commitment. The travel, the setup, the takedown of your booth, trying to stand out amongst the other outfitters who are trying to get a piece of the same customers, and the cost of having to do this. Not to mention standing at your booth for hours on end trying to capture the attention of visitors as they walk by. The good news, it doesn't have to be this way. Over the years, we've worked with, let's actually, sorry, before I read it all, let's just break it down paragraph by paragraph. So, by the way, this is often the case. We have a name for this in journalism. It's called burying the lead. It's when the thing that's actually the most sexy thing, the most powerful thing that you say is not at the front, and the first sentences matter. So I would focus on, I guess I can't, there we go. I'm trying to unhighlight that. Is I would focus on here, like firstly, before anything, like a lot of our best performing ads over the years start with calling out who it's for. So attention attorney, attention lawyer, right? Like, or attention personal injury lawyer, things like that, like where you really called them out. So I actually think even before you start getting into the symptoms, is you want to call out who it's for. So in your case, it's like attention white-tailed deer hunting outfit. I wonder if that's what they actually call themselves, by the way. I would use whatever name they use for themselves, but I'm assuming you know this niche better than I do, so just letting you know. But I would call them out and then focus on exactly what you just said here. Like I would actually totally eliminate this. And I usually say that the best way to tell you're pointing to symptoms is like you can actually, in specifics, show them the things they're doing now, right? So hunting shows, travel, setup, takedown, booth, trying to stand out, cost, standing at the booth for hours, hoping to catch people's attention, right? Like all of that are the painful symptoms of everything they're doing now. And you can break this up into little simple sentences. Hunting shows are a big commitment. The travel, period. The setup, period. The takedown, period. Trying to stand out, period. Trying to get a piece of the same customers, period. Cost, period. Standing for hours on end, period. Trying to capture the attention of visitors. Like when you put it that way, like that's like a lot of time, energy, and effort. And then I like the transition doesn't have to be this way. And now again, it's getting very unspecific on the promises, right? Like most profitable hunts now and in the future, so they can save time, money, and start focusing. By the way, almost always, like you can't tell them exactly how you're going to save them time or where you're going to save them money. You're better off not saying it because it almost sounds like, you know, like empty promises. So like all of this is just for me is like I'm gonna make people go to your hunt without ever having to like physically go get them at a trade show, right? That's kind of the result overall that you're promising. So you got to figure out like a way to just say that simply, like we're gonna bring you people, right? That and this is I see a thing a lot of times. So this is where you actually are making an offer now. It says we're giving away our 2-page ultimate digital marketing checklist for free. I'll tell you what nobody in the world woke up today, except for us people in internet marketing, thought, you know what I need? Is I need an ultimate digital marketing checklist. So like you got to, again, stupid, simple messaging. Like, here's how we're going to put people in your hunt. Get this 2-page free report without ever going to a trade show again, right? And doing all of the ugly things I just described. So even if it's the same exact information, like the solution is a marketing plan. This is why I say this happens to smart people, because you're already thinking 4 or 5 steps ahead of them instead of just meeting them where they're at, which their understanding is a lot simpler. Like you already know the problem of why they're empty is because they don't have a marketing strategy in place, but they don't know that, is my point. So you're selling them the hammer. You're going, I got a really awesome hammer that'll fix everything. And they're like, I don't need a hammer. And you're like, yeah, but you're trying to build a deck and you can't build a deck without a hammer, right? So you got to make it about the deck, not about the hammer, like the thing getting built. And to them, that's like, they want to have successful hunts. They want to have pictures of them next to the game trophy, right? All of those things. Um, and again, I always find if you're not saying anything specific, you're really not saying anything at all, especially in our brand of high ticket selling. So you say you have your hunts filled up well into the future. So all you have to do is provide the most amazing experience to your customers. So this is actually, you're saying something again really powerful here, but it's like, look how long this sentence actually is, right? Like imagine a dumb person trying to understand that. So to me, is like, you just got to worry about the people who go hunting with you, right? Like you don't have to market it, you don't have to chase the business. You just make sure that when somebody comes in, like, and flies out to you or whatever, however they get there, that like you take care of them, right? So you got to say that in a simpler way in terms of how does that show up for them, right? You just worry, and there's a strong, powerful thing in there, by the way. So you guys, if you understand that, because you can, we're making what's known as an identity play, saying like, essentially like focus on serving more and less on selling, right? Like people love when you do that. Um, Image, I think it's the right kind of thing in terms of like it probably calls out the right people, but you may get a mixture of just like guys who are amateur hunters not looking to do it on like a guided kind of thing. And so I might think about how does it show up a little more specifically in their world. And maybe it's like I said, maybe it's next to the big game trophy. I don't even know what you can show within the limitations of Facebook, but I would just think a little bit more. I don't think it's a bad image by all means. I think it's probably like a good 7, 8 out of 10, but you could probably make it a 10 by just thinking more about like how does that show up in their reality. The objective set to leads is all good. And it looks like I'm going to pick on you because you just updated your landing page. Again, like this very hammer centric. And like I see your logo, like that's the most prominent thing, but I can't really tell how like this looks like a document. This looks like work to me. This doesn't look like here's how you're going to put butts into your hunting show. Let me show you the 3 free secrets that never fail to put people in the hunting show or your hunting outfit. Um, it's way too much about the hammer, right? It's like discover your digital marketing right for your outfit. Again, they don't want marketing. Nobody woke up today and said, what I want is marketing. They want butts in the house. Checklist will help you identify what's missing. Again, this is again, you're a smart person. You're like 10 steps ahead of them. They're not worried about their strategy. They're just thinking real simple, like, how am I going to get people into this? Or they're thinking, man, I got to fly to another trade show and miss another weekend with my kids. And this is marketer talk. When you give the generic, we'll take you to the next level. Like, we want real, meaningful, specific promises in general. Like, I'll show you exactly how you're going to get people into your outfit. A to Z. It's usually probably not that complicated. It's like run an ad, tell them you exist, and give them an offer to come in the door, right? So I hope that was helpful to you, Jeremy, and anybody else, because I think there's some big things that all you guys can take away in terms of like, what are you aiming for? How to troubleshoot it, how to look at Facebook ads when they're not working. And by the way, this is not just limited to Facebook ads. This is how I approach YouTube as well. Like it's usually like one of the same 4 things. Like what am I offering? Who am I saying it to? Like really the basics. And we play around probably with a lot more ads than most people. Like I do some direct mail, I do email stuff. We sometimes do webinars. I haven't probably in the last 2 years since the COVID stuff, just because I feel like there's too many webinars out there already. But this is how this is the approach for all of it, is understanding like what the outcomes you're after are, how to say it to people meaningfully, how to win with the paid ads machine. And once you get the basics of it, what I find is you can make it adapt to any platform. So it means like your ad account could get shut down. It doesn't really matter because you can figure out 10 other ways to do it. I mean, it's an inconvenience, don't get me wrong. But it's not the end of the world. So I hope that's helpful to you guys. I hope especially that's helpful to you, Jeremy, to be able to diagnose it, because it's really just a call to taking your smart brain and simplifying it to their language in terms of how it shows up. And you actually really nail it, like I said, in the second paragraph, where it's like the travel, the setup, the takedown, the booth, trying to stand out and all that stuff. So anyways, my brother, that's all I got for right now. And much love to you guys, and may the force be with you.